an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then to
In fact, I missed
land
it.
of the Green Isles.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for coming back for episode 2. I believe I fixed that weird little visual bug. Really easy workaround. All right, let's get back to Ollie's books.
Good day, sir. I'm a stranger in this land. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you?
My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown, because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village, and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands. The Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least
And I'll
3?
sell you a book.
Does no one know for certain?
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then to
In fact, I missed
land
it.
of the Green Isles is said to
Jesus.
exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
That's quite a claim.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
I took this advice.
I took an advice. Yes, Prince Alexander. That's why I told it to you. Jesus. All right, let's go talk to Satan.
Good day, sir.
The mysterious
Hail
man
Satan!
just ignores Alexander.
But what if I'm
Show
a
him the
king?
book.
Oh. The
Show
book?
him
You want me to show the book to Death?
to Satan, yeah.
The old man would not be interested in anything that Alexander might show him.
All right, then show it to the shop owner.
I took a book.
Might I return this?
Please, I had a hard enough time getting rid of that book in the first place.
All right, now there's another thing in here that you'll probably never find this unless you click everything on everything, and I remember it's here, so I'm going to do it now. I think it's on one of these shelves.
These shelves hold a collection of oddly titled guidebooks. Alexander notices such books as How to Become King with Little or No Rupees Down, Finding the Right Girl with the Right Dowry, and Why Good Princesses Like Bad Wizards.
I don't even understand that one.
Is it this shelf?
What? Why
Volumes
bad
of
guys?
poetry are on display on this bookshelf.
Is it the shelf in the foreground?
No.
These shelves,
Hmm.
volumes of
Do I need to use my hand?
Alexander. Thinking of Cassima.
There we go.
Alexander decides to leaf through one of the volumes of love poetry. He reads, Thy hair, thy lips, thy beauteous face, and all thy studied female grace have won for thee anon a place within this broken breast. Not bad. And another. Upon the shore the lilies bend, untouched by worldly care, where shadow they her earthly bed, oh, that she were not there. Yikes. And another.
Jesus.
What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and binds my heart with links so tight I cannot live without the sight of you? What nameless thing has captured me and made me powerless to flee? What thing is it without a name that brings my mind e'er back the same to thee?
Magic mirror.
The name of love cannot apply. Its commonness does not decry the haunted, hunted, painful cry that my heart makes for you, that e'er my soul eternal makes for you.
A little close to home, that one.
Alexander returns the love poem book to the shelf.
You scored! Oh.
I ruined the book!
Alexander picks up the fallen page. It's the love poem he particularly liked. It must have fallen out of the poetry book.
I see that old volume has lost another page. You may keep it if you like, sir. I have glued the stubborn thing back in place 2 times already.
I do rather like it. Thank you, merchant.
I took a page.
Now put it in the fire.
Yes, no one knows how to run a fucking business. Oh my god. I actually wonder if I can put it in the fire. I'm gonna put it in the fire. I'm curious, can I?
Ah, to consume all our earthly possessions in flame.
No.
There's no
Dumb.
reason to use that on the books.
I was using on me.
There's no
Except
reason-
maybe to put it back in.
Yeah.
Oh, read it to death.
Okay. I got a hit on death.
The old man would not be interested in any...
No, he's not.
Hold down your pants.
What's this book?
There's a book entitled The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages on the small table in the reading area. It appears that some regular customer likes that book.
It's death.
Huh. All right.
He's gonna show up later.
I think we
It's
can leave it
death,
for
and
now.
death is actually the girl.
Ah, quite the twist. Okay, before I go forgetting, we can
Now
do
read the love
something
poem
right
to the
now.
rock.
No.
The tree.
No, I'm using the nightingale at the tree because you can hear a nightingale in the tree.
Alexander doesn't want to disturb the old tree.
Oh, can I not? Do I need to click the nightingale itself? Because I don't see it yet. I only hear it. Okay, maybe later. All right, we'll just speed off to town again. Let's go this way.
Not in town.
Not here. Not in town. I am overburdened.
What the fuck is that thing?
A person.
It's a house.
Oh.
There's a young girl in the yard. The girl is dressed in a long, plain orange robe with a thick headdress. From the appearance of her clothes and from a skittish, fearful look about her, Alexander gets the strong impression that she is a servant, or even worse, a slave.
A mouse. Oh.
The serving girl appears to be stealing a quiet moment tending the rose bushes.
A thief, not a slave.
You lazy thing! Get back to work and stay away from those roses! I've told you 1,000,000 times, those flowers are too sweet for the likes of you! You've still got to do the breakfast dishes, make lunch, and clean the stables yet this morning! And get your veil back on! No one wants to look at your face!
Yes, stepmother.
Oh, Cinderella, no.
So I was actually going to bring it up, but you're right on the money there. There's a thing in King's Quest, and this is how you learn how to solve a lot of puzzles in King's Quest games, is simply trying to identify what old fairy tale each thing is a reference to and following through on that or resolving it in some way. Most people in King's Quest games are based off old fairy tales, like literally. And so identifying that is part of solving the game.
So she'll need a glass slipper at some point. Oh, push him up. Oh, never mind.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
Nice bald spot.
Last time you
Not by
jumped in the
boat.
water, you died.
He's also shining at me with his weird eyeball. So, what do you guys think we should
A
do?
little water won't hurt you.
Investigate his house.
Read the poem to him.
A worn wooden vessel has been dry docked on a jetty. The boat is in sad shape. A hole in the hull and the condition of its boards make it obvious that the vessel is no longer seaworthy.
Well, what about this guy?
What are you waiting for? I said I'd show you how to get to the next island, didn't I?
A young boy is happily swimming in the sea off the docks.
Young boy, why does he have a bald spot?
Does he?
Oh,
That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water.
Oh no, he
Or
blew
he
up.
just exploded.
yeah.
That was the sound.
He does have a bald spot. I can tell on my giant ass monitor, but it's very hard to see otherwise. I am going to save, because you need to be careful walking here to not fly in the water. Yes, if we jumped in the water, we would of course be killed by the undertow.
Just like him. Who
Yes,
got blown
he-
up by the
he blew
undertow.
up.
A wooden
Yes. But as we saw from, or as we learned from Ali and Ali's books, the ferryman might be good for a conversation.
FBI!
Yeah, what do you want?
Talk?
what do you
Alexander
want?
promises himself that he will not go home until he has determined what Cassima's feelings are for him, and if she needs his help.
I think I clicked on myself by mistake there.
Excuse me. My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say
I
old
like the
Allie
slight
sent you?
static behind his
I
voice.
can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside.
Yeah, normally we wouldn't get an audience with them.
What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
Okay, I believe we're able to obviously talk to him as well as show him items to get more information. I guess we'll just start by talking. Good music, by the way.
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map.
You can fly
The
on
owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
There we go. That's what I was trying to get. I was showing the ring to the pawn shop owner to see if I could get the map earlier. But he wouldn't take it because we didn't know the map existed because he's a terrible pawn shop owner and doesn't fucking tell us about the useful things he has.
But he does have mints.
He does, in fact, have lots of mints.
So you're gonna give away your signet ring for a map?
Well, he just said
magic map.
it's a magic map. It teleports you across the islands. And considering the waters are so rough and the ferry doesn't work anymore, it's the only way to get to the other islands.
Sounds like a shitty idea.
I'm going to show him
Let's
the
do it.
Nightingale.
Would you be at all interested in this?
Nah, what need is a poor dry-docked ferryman for that?
That's generic dialogue. So
Give him a mint.
The repairing of the ferry is one of the things to change the ending. It's not required, but I'd like to do it if I can remember how.
Would you be at all interested?
Nah,
Fresh breath.
A love poem.
Would you be at...
nah.
Nope.
Companionship.
A very boring book.
Would you be at...
Nah.
Jesus. What can we learn about the book? We never really examined this.
Alexander is carrying a book from the bargain table in the bookshop.
Yep,
Oh.
he
Cool.
is. Speak to it.
Alexander is a little busy for that.
Okay, I think we can read it later. We could show him that we're royalty.
Would you be interested?
I don't need charity. I won't take nothing from no man till I get back in business and can earn my own keep.
Fair. Can we just talk to him more?
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
It was
Okay.
the queen.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
That seems like a horrible idea.
Tell me more
Yep.
about Princess Cassima.
Ah, such a beautiful child.
Oh, you're
And so
creepy.
pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen. They served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot.
That's
Bit
bullshit.
crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
I fucking hate that island. You'll see why later.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately, you can't get very far onto the island.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the
Same
most gorgeous
delivery.
creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is.
Yep, that we won't be going to that place for a while. That'll be a fun fucking episode.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Some say that the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next. Of course, that's just silly talk.
What else can you tell me about the land?
It doesn't get
Let's
old.
see. The Isle of Wonder.
Okay, he's looping now. Okay, let's look at that.
I don't know. He might have some more
no,
dialogue
just-
for it.
Oh, you think so?
What else
Yeah.
can you...
The Isle of the Beast.
It was worth it, but maybe this time.
What else can you tell me?
The inhabitants of...
Okay, no. So,
Wait, what about now?
What else can you...
The Castle of the Crown sure is a...
nope. Okay, so
That's
on
just
the
a make it.
just in case you wanted to know, I did take a mint. So that's fucking obviously on the table.
A table is positioned in front of there's
No,
a rabbit's foot.
not okay. The rabbit's
It's a
foot.
rabbit's
Thank
foot.
you. I was gonna say no. I don't want to look at the table. Can I talk about it?
The ferryman seems to be the only one in the cabin to address.
No, I don't want to talk to it. Can I pick it up?
There's nothing of interest on that particular part of the table.
I clicked.
I see you have a rabbit.
There it is. You were one pixel
Has
off.
it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now,
He
despite
missed
that
the
old
harumph.
charm. Why
He
don't
sure
you
did.
take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it
And
will...
bestow
at
my bad fortune
Thank
onto you.
You take
we
it,
go.
he dies immediately.
I took
Okay.
the rabbit's foot.
As far as I know, there's nothing else we can interact with here.
Alexander doesn't want to take the ferryman's lamps. He obviously has little enough to offer him comfort.
Yeah, let's. I think we can get out of here for now.
Go to his bed.
I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? Say no more.
Goodbye, King Ferryman. All right, let's get out of here. We are done at the Ferryman for quite a while, I think. You don't really often need to go there. We can't go there. We're not allowed into their yard without permission.
Cinderella, let down your long golden hair.
Was that Sillarenda? Sillarenda.
No,
Sillarenda.
God, okay.
that was,
running joke around the household. We always call it Sillarenda because it's funny.
That was, what's her face?
That's Goldilocks?
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel. Which one
I was thinking
Goldilocks?
Goldilocks too, but no.
Goldilocks
Goldilocks
and the
was
Three
the one with
Bears?
the 3 bears and the soup and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's pawn shop because we were told about the magic map.
Porridge, not soup.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look.
Death.
Good day, sir.
The old man just glares at Alexander and does not reply.
Good day, sir.
The old man,
Take a mint.
What if I punch
for
him?
no apparent reason, Alexander's flesh crawls at the mere thought of touching the old man.
It's definitely the woman.
I took a mint.
Alexander decides to be
Glinty-eyed.
friendly and offer the old man a mint.
Would you care for a mint, sir?
No, thank you. I'll get my own mint from the dish when I want one.
What a dick.
That's my other name.
By the way,
It's
did
King
you know
Grant.
that I took a mint?
I took a mint.
Help yourself. That is what they're there for.
Hey, you've been holding out on me, you fucker. What about this magic map you have?
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
All right, but
How about this
is the mint good enough?
I took a mint.
Help yourself. That is what they're there for.
But what if I use it on the map?
There's no reason to use that on the counter.
That's a map,
Bullshit.
but okay. All right, the Ring of
Give him the
Daventry.
poem.
Let's look at it first. I don't think we've looked at this.
Alexander's ring is made of the purest gold and has the insignia of the royal family of Daventry on its face.
Yeah, that's pretty valuable.
Give him the poem.
Before...
It's really valuable to you.
It is very valuable to me. Ring. Before I go giving this away, I just want to check something. If I go to Allie's books now...
Good day again. How may I help you?
Fuck.
Now, this is another
Well, the
thing that
book-
can affect the ending. You don't need to talk to this guy the entire game, but you should, and it's random whether he's here or not.
It's a wizard.
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land
What a
of
geek,
the
you're gonna
Green
love this
Isles?
guy.
I'm sorry, but I
Whoa.
have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
The
That
Mad Hatter?
voice. Okay, I will say his face looked far less creepy in the original version of the game. This is like the single CD like re-release thing that came later, I think, where they redrew all the face portraits. He looked less like a freak show in that, but his voice is amazing.
So what about the
Sorry,
book?
Alice. I have too much
What
to worry
about-
about the princess.
What about the bookshelf that the old man was standing in front of? We couldn't investigate it earlier.
I don't remember anything being there, but let's check just in case.
Assorted travelogues and biographies are arranged on these shelves.
That could... Well, we are traveling.
Right now, Alexander is too involved with the journey he's on to take time to read about the journeys of others.
That sounds short-sighted.
Alexander isn't interested in the cookbooks on that shelf. He's had an aversion to cooking ever since he experimented with a certain cookie recipe involving cat hair and fish oil.
He must have been really out of ingredients.
I think that's a reference to a spell he cast in the third game. By the way, I never explained this before, as to like exactly who Alexander is in context to the series. He was the playable character in, I believe it was King's Quest 3, which was a really cool one where it's like a mini stealth game almost. You have like 5 days to arrange a spell to turn your captor into a cat, but you can't get caught trying to prepare the spell or escaping the castle. It's really, really cool, actually. Most of the games, the protagonist is King Graham of Daventry, which is the father of Alexander.
He tried to make cookies out of a magic spell?
It's hard to explain, and I haven't played the game in long enough that I probably wouldn't be able to explain it properly. But this ring is how we show this man who we are. Now, you may have given away the ring by this point in the game, which means you cannot show him, at least unless you can't get the ring back. You can get through the entire game without ever talking to this guy, although it will change your ending. And if we want the better endings, most of the better endings that I can remember require getting to know this guy.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself.
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and...
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken.
Oh, I love that.
Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flit mice. You must be Prince Alexander. Cassima told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here?
Why, by a ship, now wrecked upon the sand. But you know Cassima? She truly spoke of me?
Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, a Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is she now?
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a
What about in the
dated
evening?
tradition, and not required, but the wazir says she insisted out of respect.
I see. You've yet to say who you are, and how you know the princess.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jalo. I am clown to the royal court, and have been since the marriage of Cassima's parents, King Calipham and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Cassima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the wazir or his plans for Cassima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Cassima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion. Now I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later.
Thank you for speaking with me, Jalo. I hope we meet again soon.
I love his walk.
Squeaking sounds.
I know, that'd be so good. So interestingly enough, you can find that nightingale and give it things to give to Cassima, and then you'll just get things back. And I believe if you've never talked to Jalo, you'll never get the cutscenes showing it delivering it to Cassima, but you'll kind of guess it's giving it to Cassima and you're getting stuff back. However, you would have no fucking clue why the hell it is this random nightingale is taking things to Cassima and bringing it back to you. And yet you're allowed to do that even if you've never talked to Jalo. It's incredibly confusing.
There's no...
Can we go over there right now?
I was getting some Ocarina of Time flashbacks when he was describing the vizier, the princess, and his role. Like, he was playing Impa,
Yeah.
Princess is Zelda, and then the vizier is Ganondorf.
It is very, very that. Pretty much. All right, on the next episode, we're going to try and gain an audience again, because I think we can do something like that at this point in the game, but not completely. Failing that, we'll just go give the ring to the pawn shop owner and get ourselves that magic map, and we can really start exploring the game. Until next time, have a nice day.
See ya.
You have a midget on your feet.